Welcome back to the Deep Dive series, where each and every episode we take a look at a different NFL team, coming up with a realistic outcome and prediction for them going into the 2022 NFL season. And this is the final team we have on our list. This is the team I have making the Super Bowl. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Shouldn't really surprise anybody. They look like they're going to be a hell of a team. And they have Tom Brady. So, but what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So, and let's go ahead, get into the offense. Switching it over here so we get a good look at the depth chart. And we got Brian Leftwich, as of course we know Todd Bowles is the new head coach. But it's going to be Leftwich who is going to be manning the offense, going to be the play caller there. And, hey, man, we know Leftwich. No risk it, no biscuit. Leftwich, this dude's been working under Bruce Arians since 2016 back with the Arizona Cardinals. So I really think things are going to be the same. And Leftwich said as much as he says not much is going to change. So we're going to see a good mix of zone and gap blocking schemes. They're going to be running out of a lot of the 11 and 12 personnel. They do a very good job of manufacturing downfield separation, especially once they get the run game going. And we've seen that Leonard Fournette, that's been successful for them when it's been Leonard Fournette taking the bulk of the carries in the backfield. Now, there might be some concerns. Oh no, Tom Brady, he had to take a personal leave. From all intents and purposes, apparently it was a planned leave. The team knew he was going to do this. So it was like, hey, I need a couple of weeks for something, I don't know, for personal reasons. He didn't list out why. There's tabloids out there. Oh no, they get it. Him and, was it Giselle? Whatever. Gazelle? They're getting a divorce. That's always reported. So I give two craps about that. Point is, he wanted to get in early with the team and work with the team for a little bit. Now he's going to go take some time off. No biggie. Don't care. He's not going to re-retire, so whatever. However, let's talk about the offense, because they did take some big hits. Mainly on that interior, Alex Kappa, Ali Marpet. So now they're going to have two new starters there on the interior at guard. The question is, who? Well, they decided to go. Tom Brady was like, hey, let's go rip off the Patriots. And they got Shaq Mason, one of the best guards in the NFL, for pennies. So, bam, they solved one problem there. Next question is, okay, who's going to be the left guard then? So we got Aaron, Steedy? Hardly saw time last year. They drafted Luke Godecki in the second round. I imagine they wouldn't mind this guy starting very early. They probably feel he's pro-ready. Played right tackle there in Central Michigan. There's also Robert Hainsey, who really came into the draft out of Notre Dame being, hey, this is a very versatile guy. He can play really any of the five positions on the offensive line. However, I think there's a good chance Hainsey's going to be starting at center, because we have no clue what's going on with Ryan Jensen. Apparently the swelling around his leg is it's bad, and it's too early to really indicate what the timeline is if he'll come back. A lot of people really thought I was serious out the gate. Now some people are saying it's not as serious as first indicated. Sounds like he'll probably miss time regardless. He's been on the sideline for the past few days of training camp. So I don't know. That just means we're going to see Robert Hainsey. I was really high on Hainsey coming out of the draft. So take that as you may. Luke Godecki and Steen will fight for that spot at left guard. Donovan Smith's been actually pretty darn good since they paid him. And Tristan Wirfs is a freaking monster. It's probably a big reason why Donovan Smith has been succeeded over the last couple of years. So looking at the depth, I feel like we've already talked a little bit about the depth, because Hainsey's supposed to be really depth. Godecki, Steeney, one of them's going to end up on the bench. What about the other spots? I really like Fred Johnson out of Cincinnati. He's shown some upside. He had a few spot starts there in Cincinnati, and I think having him as a depth option is very nice. You got Josh Wells, a guy who stepped in last year when Tristan Wirfs went down. It looked all right. So a guy that they're comfortable with, a guy that they're familiar with. So the depth looks pretty darn good. A guy I really like, Sedarius Hutchinson. Don't know if he makes a squad, probably not, but I was actually a big fan of him. So I like what's going on the offensive line, even with some questions. Like, oh no, our interior is falling apart. We might not have the same 3 stars we did last year. You add Shaq Mason. I'm high on Robert Hainsey. You draft Luke Godecki, and then you bring Steeney, a guy that from last year who really didn't see time. It is what it is. Until we really know more on Jetson, it's kind of hard to get any indication. We could talk about the running back room. Leonard Fournette. This team's been really good when Leonard Fournette is carrying the rock. It's nice to see that he's finally found a home, but he is a guy that you do get concerned with injuries. So they had Keyshawn Vaughn, who was actually not half bad last year. Let's actually go pull up his stats. I know he had at least a couple of big runs. Can't remember how long his biggest one was last year. I want to say it was like 60 yards. All right, Vaughn. Nah, it was 55, so I went over. If this price is right, I ain't gonna get to go on stage. But he showed some stuff last year. They also draft Rachaad White, who's just really this guy. Once you have him out in space, watch out. I think he's gonna be utilized more in the passing game. They'll probably hold on to Giovanni Bernard, but I think him and Rachaad White will probably occupy the same space. But Bernard is way more seasoned, so they probably will lean with him. Patrick Layard, former Miami Dolphin, probably doesn't make the squad. Looking at tight end, they lost freaking OJ Howard, Gronk, but Cameron Brate. I think a lot of people forget how good Cameron Brate is. If I say he's like a high-end starter, no, but he's a good tight end in the league. They also bring in Kyle Rudolph, who's really more depth at this point. And actually, Kate Otten apparently has been doing pretty well. A guy that got injured during the draft or right before the draft process, I believe. But this cat, he's a solid tight end. I'm not going to say he's like, oh, watch out, this guy's going to be a superstar. I don't think he's that guy. He's a solid blocker, consistent chain mover. That's what he was at Washington. So, yeah, I like that. Can't really say much. I don't know. Tight end 4, I ain't got much to say. Honestly, they'll probably opt to keep maybe 3 tight ends. Then again, injury concerns? Maybe. I don't know, because they do use a lot of 12 personnel. So, I don't know. That's going to be something to watch when we get to cut it, guys. So, wide receiver. This is a big reason why this team's so high. They have so many talented players at wide receiver, and it blows my mind a lot of these guys aren't going to make the team. Like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, a wonderful wide receiver duo. Russell Gage really emerged as a very good slot receiver there in Atlanta. He joins the fray. I was a huge fan of Tyler Johnson coming out of the 2020 draft. I know things haven't really gone swimmingly since joining the Bucs, but still, I think he's a hell of a player. They had Julio Jones into that mix. Oh, golly gee. They got Cyril Grayson, who's actually been one of their deadliest deep threats. This guy is averaging over 21 yards per reception last season. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, 21.2. Wild. Who else they got in the fray here? Jalen Darden probably makes the roster simply just because he's a special, he's a return guy. Rashad Perryman, I don't know. I can't see him or Scotty Miller, honestly. Are they going to keep 7 guys? Honestly, I look at this and it's guys like Julio Jones and Tyler Johnson could realistically be cut. And then you have Devin Tompkins at a Utah State who's really going to vie to be a return guy. Jarrett Stearns, I think, doesn't make the roster, but like he was very good for Western Kentucky, very good after the catch, bit undersized. So he kind of occupies the same space as Jalen Darden, but like this is going to be a stacked receiving core. So very excited. Of course, they got Tom Brady, one of the, well, probably the best quarterback of all time. Look, I got a Tom Brady shirt or jersey in the background. I'm a Dolphins fan. You might be like, why would you have a Tom Brady jersey in your background? Because as a Dolphins fan, you know who your daddy is. He was running the AFC East for a long time. I'm just happy that he's gone. I didn't say he was a good dad. I just know who my daddy is. But, in terms of, like, I mean, do we really need to talk about what they got at backup, like, as, like, backup quarterback? This is, like, worst case scenario. Tom Brady goes down. Blaine Gabbert. Kyle Trask, probably not ready. Ryan Griffin, not going to make the roster. Like, I don't think we really need to talk about it. Let's get to the defense. Because I really like talking about defense. And if you didn't know, now you know. This is still Todd Bowles' defense for all intents and purposes. He just kind of promoted Casey Rogers and Larry Foote. Yo, if you remember Larry Foote playing for the Steelers back in the day, this is that Larry Foote, right? I just gotta make sure. I get to talk it out my butt sometimes and don't know if it's actually right. Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, former Steelers linebacker. I remember when he played, and that's back when I was a child. So it's so cool watching these former players, especially prominent players, start coaching in the league. It's just fun. I remember when it was Deuce Staley was the first one. I was like, I remember him. Oh man, it's just fun. But regardless, so with Rodgers, he is the run game coordinator, while Foote is going to be the passing game coordinator, both stepping up from being positional coaches. But again, all intents and purposes, this is Todd Bowles' defense, and this is a defense that's going to blitz a hell of a lot. He has led the NFL in blitz rate since joining the Bucs, and he does it from a plethora of different formations, whether it's an odd front, bear, rush, mug, get the linebackers there up into the line of scrimmage, filling gaps. Any of those fronts, he can blitz literally anybody and anyone. He's known for his exotic blitz packages. He does a lot of this out of cover 3 in terms of the coverage. Let's go ahead and take a look at the defense, because this defense is good as long as it's healthy, right? Health was kind of a problem for the Bucs last year, but Vita Vea, monster, another guy that went down last year, but him healthy is going to be huge. He's a very, very. I don't know if he's really underrated at this point anymore, but like, man, the catch is really good. One of the best nose tackles in the game. They add Akeem Hicks, wonderful addition. I like that now that they lost. Guys such as JPP, this one more notably for Sue. So they add Akeem Hicks. I think that's a great addition. William Golston's been a solid part of that line. Really is kind of like that guy that's going to be consistently like that, like the 12th or 13th most snaps on the squad. I think actually last year, last year he was 13th. So, yeah, he's going to be involved in the mix, though they drafted Logan Hall, who's this bit of a tweener. How does he play into the equation? Raheem Nuns Roaches, really just a good depth guy. That's about it. Same with Patrick O'Connor. Guys you really don't want to be started, so feel really good about the defensive line, especially if it can stay healthy. Then you look at the pass rushers. You got Joe Tryon. I'm not going to butcher the second part to his name. He was Joe Tryon coming out of the draft. That's how I know him. But last year, he had 33 pressures and 4 sacks. So, yeah, hopefully you think he takes a big jump. Like, his pass rush win rate wasn't all that impressive. So, I guess we'll see this year with him. Obviously, they believe in him. That's why they decided not to bring back a guy like JPP. So, yeah, we'll see. I know this is a guy that, like, I thought he was real raw coming out of the draft, but it was a stupid great athlete, and then he just got stronger, more muscular. So maybe he's a guy that'll break out this year. We know Barrett, dude's just fabulous. Last year, 11 sacks, but 76 pressures. Dude was great. In terms of what they have, in terms of depth or guys that might be used in the rotation, Anthony Nelson's kind of that guy that they use in the rotation. He actually did a pretty good job at that last season. What was it? 5 sacks? 5 sacks, 26 pressures. Cam Gill got in on the action. Where, like, I know he didn't play a lot of snaps, but he was like, his win rate was insane. Especially if you consider this guy came from Wagner University or something like that. So, yeah, dude's been real good. They had Carl Nazib, so they got now some depth there. So I'm very excited with the pass rush. I think they bring a guy, at least they bring a rotation that they're very content with. Obviously, you got to talk about when you talk about blitzing, guy that gets a lot of pressure. Freaking Devin White is really good at that. 49 pressures and 4 sacks last year. The guy's just a splash play waiting to happen, whether it's in coverage or if it's in the backfield. You legit gotta watch out for him. Levante David remains still is one of a top 5, top 10 linebacker to me. He's just a good every year. Freaking love Devontae David. Or Levante David. I can't imagine his play falling off. It just hasn't. He doesn't get talked about enough. A lot of people, when they were thinking before we had Fred Ward or Darius Leonard kind of emerge as best linebackers in the league. It was always the guy was Bobby Wagner. Or at least I feel not enough people talked about Levante David. I thought he was just as good. So there's that. In terms of the depth they got, I mean, KJ Britt, he's more of this downhill guy. We're not gonna see a lot of these guys unless injury. Aloakun, Fadokasi, I think is an interesting name throw out there for a Rutgers linebacker. Really just a 2-down run defender, but I liked him in the draft. I was surprised he didn't get drafted because he's got a good body type. He was consistent. I was shocked. But yeah, the defense is really good. It continues to get better when you go to the secondary. Of course, Carlton Davis, they signed to a 3-year, $45 million deal. Now they're going to have a hard decision at the end of this year of can they keep, who do they keep? Between Jamil Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting, I really feel like it's going to be more of the slot guy. That's typically how it is. But Antoine Whiffle apparently been taking a lot of snaps out of the slot as well. Because, I mean, they kind of got the depth at safety if they want to roll with 3 safety sets. Mike Edwards has been very good. I'm glad he's going to get to see the field more this year. Where was his snaps last year? He was 12th with 600 snaps last year, but the dude's just been a playmaker in coverage guy, legit, man. He's a interception waiting to happen. They add Keanu Neal and Logan Ryan, just some very good vets there. So if they want to put Whitfield in there in the slot sometimes, they could definitely do that and throw either Ryan, probably more so Ryan, maybe Neal, but in terms of depth on at the quarterback position, it's not really there. Zion McCullough is a developmental guy, former Sam Houston State prospect. I know he's tests a great athlete, but again, he was a guy I watched at the Cedar Bowl and was I don't think I need to hunt down Sam Houston tape. The dude got dogged by Christian Watson, and I was like, ugh. And then he tested out phenomenal at the combine. So I managed to actually get to see some Sam Houston tape, and I still wasn't that impressed. I was like, this guy's just athletically great build. So it's yeah, he's a developmental guy. You're hoping not to see this guy early. Delaney is a guy that they had last year. So is he really going to be in the mix? Unless there's injury, they decide not to hold on to what was his name? Cockrell? Oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Former Duke corner, right? Ross Cockrell. Okay, so I think they just cut him like last week or a few days ago. It's like, I don't know. Maybe they could find a nice value veteran at a low cost. But yeah, the depth at corner, I don't love it. I really don't. Doesn't surprise me that they're starting to look at 3 safety sets. So yeah, but this is a good squad. I'm excited. I really think this team's going to be very good. Let's go ahead to my projected stars. Remember, I do this based on not necessarily your base defenses, but who's going to see the field the most snap-wise. So let's get into this. Starting with the offense, Tom Brady, no duh. This guy's your quarterback. And then you got Leonard Fournette, as well at receiver. You got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Russell Gage, and then Cameron Brate at tight end. And then on the offensive line, Donovan Smith. I got Luka Decky. I really think, I don't know, man. Maybe they stick with Steedy. We haven't seen a lot from him, so kind of hard to tell, but I think maybe we see the rookie. Robert Hazy. Again, until we know more on Ryan Jensen, it's kind of hard to project. But Shaq Mason and Tristan Wirfs, that's a hell of a right side of the line. Looking at the defense, Shaq Barrett, we got Joe Tryon, Akeem Hicks, Vita Vea, Levante David, Devin White, Carlton Davis, Jameel Dean, Sean Murphy Bunted, Antonio Winfield, and Mike Edwards. Let's go ahead to who or how I think they're going to do. And you might be shocked. I got them at 11-6. And you're like, but you have them first. And you have teams like the Packers and the Chargers at 13-4. Well, that's because I had to get a draft order for this. So I went through the playoffs. And I think really the Bucs, they kind of, I think, are the favorite in the NFC. And you might be like, well, no, what about the Rams? They just won the Super Bowl. I honestly think Tampa Bay is a better put together team. I really do. And yeah, man, I think if this team could stay healthy, they weren't healthy last year going to the playoffs, then like watch out. Like this squad is good. So let's go ahead and get into it because I have them going 2-4 in the division. If you believe it or not, I have the Saints winning both games because that's kind of the theme. The Bucs, they can't beat the Saints during the regular season, but shoot, playoffs, Saints, no chance. But they start the year with Dallas. That ought to be a really fun game to watch. Wasn't that the opener last year or maybe a year or two ago? Dallas versus Tampa Bay. Was it 2021? That was a season opener, right? That was a season opener. All right. Yeah, that was a bigger game. Okay, so I'm happy that they're opening the season like that again. Then they get the Saints, so they get to see a healthy Jameis Winston. There we go. Wow. And then the Packers. So this is actually a rough opening slate because then they followed that up with the Chiefs. So yeah, I got them going 2-2. This opening like 4 games. They're tough. It's a tough slate. If they come out 500, that's fine. Won't surprise me. Got them beating the Falcons. I really think they'll probably sweep the Falcons this year. Beating the Steelers again. Yeah, you can't like Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. That's a team that's always going to be competitive. So it's not a gimme. Then you also got Panthers here. I gave the Panthers 1, so it happens. Right, I only gave them 1. Okay. Then we got, this is Ravens, Rams, and then luckily you get Seattle going into your bye, so it's like, oh, okay. At least we get some cushiony team. And then you go to your bye, you may or may not be facing Deshaun Watson. When I did these predictions, I anticipated Watson not to see a suspension just because I just figured they probably hold on that, but things moved a lot faster than I expected. So that very well could be a win. I don't know. We'll see. Then again, I don't like what he was given a 4-game suspension initially, 4 or 6 game. I don't know. Even if they extend it to a year or even 12 games, I don't know. We'll see. Again, losing to the Saints, you already know why. And then beating the Niners here. Niners, another tough squad. Bengals, that's going to be a fun game. Cardinals are typically a joke at the end of the year. Then you really end the season like easy. Like you got Panthers. I know I got y'all losing in Atlanta, but I think that's because they already secured the division. So I had the rest of their starters, I suppose. Yeah, because I had Green Bay at 13 and 4. So there's no way they could get that first seed. So I figure Atlanta, they might get a gimme at the end of the year because they're facing the backups. But yeah, no, I think this squad, I might as well go to my playoffs, right? Let's see if I can do that. There we go. So this is basically how, here, I'll make it look better for y'all. Since this is the last episode of the series, I can kind of do whatever. But all right, so this is what the opener round looked like for the playoffs. And I think I went like this. Oh, yeah, it's real unfortunate, man. 2 years in a row, Eagles, they get to open with Tom Brady. That's not going to be fun. But this is how it went. So this got one away team winning. To be fair, Ravens Bengals, that's a tough one. I really think Denver Bills is going to be a tough one, but I really like that Bills team. I mean, as a Dolphins fan, I like that Bills team as much as I can. But I really like, honestly, like looking at this, like these, like I think all these games for the most part, maybe not this Colts Chiefs, are pretty up for grabs. Maybe the Saints Dallas game, but I really don't think any of these other games are going to be close. So going to the next week, I ended up having it go like this. I had the Chiefs get knocked out of the divisional round. Again, I like this Chargers squad, so I had Bills, Chargers, Bengals. Man, if this team kind of regresses, not even regresses, I really think they did a lot of overachieving last year. So if this team does about the same as they did, minus the playoff push, it won't shock me. I mean, the Bills are gonna be a really tough team, though. I had the Bucks, because I told you I already have the Bucks win the Super Bowl. Then I had Green Bay get it over the Cowboys. Again, this is a divisional round. Maybe the Packers get bounced early. This happened last year. So it obviously I ended it like this. Had the Bucks beat the Packers. Had the Chargers beat the Bills. That was a tough one to call. Really could have gone either or. But yeah, I got them going like that. Overall, here will be this is the draft order right here. You kind of could see it. I'm not gonna really let y'all get a really good look at it since I'm about to have that mock draft video out this Friday. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing, and as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.